So welcome everybody to the Daily Closing. This is episode number 45. Lorena, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Can we all say, can we agree at least that we have witnessed great countries become completely destroyed under the idea of socialism, communism? I mean, so anyway, we don't feel it that much, but winter is coming. And actually winter is here for most cities already, for most all the states up and north. You know what I mean? Everybody's going through a process. Here's one of the concerns.
It's a nice 74 degrees here.
Yeah, I was going to say sunny, but it's a little cloudy. But I'll take it. I'll take it. It's not so bad. Here's one of the things that's taking place. You know, right now around these days, you know what I mean? A lot of people are concerned about the additional expenses that they got to have just to heat up homes. You know what I mean? Just to keep warm. But here is one of the biggest concerns that all the states, especially given in light of what's been taking place in New York.
Where it gets extremely chilly.
They are describing it as a potential nightmare window. Winter for the financial reality of every single one of the states that are dealing right now with the influx of migrants coming into this country. And especially now that you see cameras of people being interviewed. They just crossed the border and saying, "Where are you going? New York. Where are you going? New York. Where are you going? New York. Where are you going? New York." I can see Mayor Adams that's already dealing with a lot of problems.
A lot of issues
looking
everywhere.
at these questions going like, why is everybody coming here?
Well, you invited them, bro.
One of them is, they started with an invitation. The second thing is, it's an interesting, you remember the statement about New York, if you can make it here,
you can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere. So for many people, the whole idea of, I got to go to New York first, you know what I mean? And but this is a significant challenge. We don't have a real solution. Numbers are getting bigger. And there's nobody volunteering anything. You know what I mean? You seen anything also on the news? Are you hearing anything on
No, I mean, it makes total sense. These cities have really struggled with the homeless population to begin with when it comes to these really cold times. So I cannot begin to imagine what's happening right now. You know, during dinner yesterday, my brother-in-law's neighbor was actually, his kids just came over and he was telling us a story about how for a whole 2 weeks, he didn't know if he was going to see his children again because the people that were bringing them were separated. And they were trying to verify who he was, if he was the kid, because they were preventing child trafficking. And the kids were like trapped somewhere. It was kind of scary. But it's interesting to hear the perspective of the people that are coming in here even right now. Because even this gentleman that, has good values and principles when it comes to faith, when it comes to, we were talking about how men should be... men don't get bullied, and if somebody bullies you, you stand up for yourself. You just don't go complain and whine, like all of those different things. So a lot of the things that we agreed upon, and then all of a sudden he says, but still this country is not, it's kind of like a piece of, and I'm like, what are you freaking talking about? You just risked your life, your children's life.
The life of your children.
Maybe not even being able to see it. To come to a country that you don't think is the best country in the world. I get concerned with the people that are crossing and that are coming in here, which I get the values and principle, but I think they get so confused by what they see in the media. And there's this echo chamber of, because it was crazy. He was like, yes, it was terrible when they took the guns away in Venezuela. The only people that have guns is the criminals. And then, but also they should take them away here. And I'm like, do you not understand? And the whole, whatever is happening in Venezuela will never happen here. And I'm like, are you oblivious?
Didn't they say down in Venezuela, whatever happened in Cuba, whatever happened in
will
Cuba
never happen here.
Whatever happened in Nicaragua will never happen in Venezuela. Whatever happened didn't they say that?
It took like 5 years, 10 years to go from thriving to a country that needed rescuing,
So when we're having these conversations and we're highlighting the immigration problem that is going into a few states, what I don't want people to get lost, what I want people, the average American family or the average American that once in a while will get connected to a message like this is just a reminder that the message, right, that we put out there about America is not a positive message. that unfortunately, by the way, it's coming from within. You know, it's a lot of people in our own country that likes to take down, minimize the
Our
greatness of
country.
the country.
Yeah.
You know, and so thank God we still have enough voices that are willing to say how special the country is. To my surprise, as I was, navigating life and having certain conversations, especially about politics and the country and people that get to be trouble about too much nationalism, when it's too much or when it's not enough, right? Looking for that happy medium. But to my surprise, though, people were, I guess, just simply not willing to accept the fact that there are people outside of the borders of this country that actually don't want to see the country do well. That will actually hurt the country if they have the ability.
Yep.
And then that conflict of perspective that you're describing for the people coming in, they are coming in not as a pro-America perspective, support, and anything that we stand for. They're just desperately running away from something so bad, so much that they're not paying attention that the only reason why they're coming to something better is because it is. And
Yeah.
they're not willing to value it. They're not willing to approach. And so, those conversations, I had many conversations with people that.
Seriously? Can I ask you, like-
You were born here. What I'm saying is, if somebody was born here, right, and one day decided to go out there and you're so unhappy with Trump or Biden or whatever it is that you decided to start protesting and now you're burning a flag somewhere, which to be quite honest with you, you deserve to be hit with a baseball bat if you're doing that. But you decide now you're burning a flag. That is already bad enough to witness than to actually see somebody that ran away from another country. You came here. Now you protest in the country that took you in, and you burning a flag. And I tell you this
No, I mean, I don't think that he was on that
no, I'm not saying that
level,
that's
but-
the case of that
yeah.
individual, but we've seen that from many people that came from
Yeah,
other
yeah.
places, trouble places where they wouldn't go back to. Like if you said to them, listen, man, if things are so bad here, if you don't like it, why don't you just
so
go
my
back?
question is, I just don't understand. Like, if you found a way to leave your country, to go to obviously a better place,
Correct.
why wouldn't you go to the best possible place for you and your family?
Because we,
Better yet, if you were able to make it outside and you made it whatever it is,
Correct.
man, it could be freaking. They were talking about Canada, and I'm like, oh god.
Let's talk about. I give you something better. Let's talk about just simply from a perspective of safety and security for yourself, for your family. If I'm in Honduras, you could just go to El Salvador right now.
Right.
You'll be in a phenomenal position.
Yep.
You could go to Costa Rica right now,
Yep.
and you'll be in a
Pura vida.
phenomenal, about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yes, like why? Well, you know what I mean? And then you ask yourself the question. And by the way, you know what? I still have family in Honduras, right?
Yeah,
This is a conversation that I had with them. You know what I mean? I had a few cousins and visited just recently, came to my house. By the second date, they described being here in Orlando as a weight being removed off their shoulders, which was always connected to the amount of fear.
For safety.
Just based on safety. You know what I mean? It's like you get on your car and you don't know if you're gonna get hijacked, if somebody's
Right.
gonna kill you, if you're gonna. It's
Shot.
so violent. It's so
Stabbed.
Exactly. I mean, and they just rob you, just whatever the case. But so many bad things that they like. You say you carry that on your wings. The
Yeah.
fear for yourself, for your families. So come out here, goes away. I said to him, that's the reason why I don't understand what the hell everybody still is not making. By the way, you don't want to come here because he said to me, listen, you picked up the language. He said to me, I can't,
Right.
the idea that, I'm not able to communicate and I'm not going to be able to operate at the same level that I did. I understand that. I can relate to that. Is there no other country that you can think of that can give you the level of safety, security? If you're not able to, and that is the point, though. The point is, but what I want to highlight for you is that internally, if we don't make an effort for integration, for people to embrace the American way, if we keep dividing people in groups where you are the group from Venezuela and you are the Latino group and
You're
you
a
are the group
victim.
for, and if we don't do a better effort for everybody to, again, just integrate, find a way to speak to them. I had a couple of friends. I got somebody that I was going to give them a specific job to do. And the person said to me, and somebody has been here for a long time, said to me, I still don't speak the language. And I'm like, why? Let me challenge that. I said, I know a lot of people. Listen, we are not built the same. We're not equipped the same. Some people don't have the same learning capabilities, right? If you don't apply, even if you, by the way, if you do apply, if you do apply to something, even if you have some learning challenges, you're going to learn. The fact of the matter is that when somebody finds a way to avoid that comfort zone, you know what I mean? I'm not going to make an effort to that alone is going to be always detrimental. But we still have some people that do struggle with learning. But when you come across somebody who's extremely intelligent, who's been here for 12, 15 years, they still don't speak the language.
No, yeah, that's a choice.
That is a choice. That is my point. The problem is that when you're making a choice like that, it's not just a I love our language so much, you know what I mean? It's like Cervantes and I are like this, you know what I mean? So we need to keep this thing going. What you're saying is that there's one aspect of this new country that you're in that you're not willing to embrace. Yeah. And here we are, making every possible excuse, you know what I mean? You see everybody out there making every possible excuse, opposed to encouraging, opposed to, walk through the process.
This guy, it was 2:00 in the morning. We had a couple of beers, a whole bottle of whiskey, nice whiskey, by the way, good wine. It was 2:00 in the morning.
Anybody taken down so far?
Yeah, a lot of alcohol. There was a lot of alcohol
in this process.
It was a thing.
Everybody writing down a couple of beers, bottle of whiskey, a film of stuff.
No, but here's the crazy thing: we were outside.
Yeah.
And we were loud and rambunctious, and there was a couple of us, and no one. It just baffles me. No one was concerned for their safety. Not a single person thought somebody's gonna come in and rob us.
Correct.
Somebody's getting kidnapped. Somebody's getting stabbed tonight. That was not a single concern. So what you're talking about is that, and so it's like, and then I hear this guy that ran away from that. By the way, he speaks English, which is the craziest thing. Been here for a year and a half, so he speaks English, and then all of a sudden, he is saying that the country is a piece of you know what. Like for me, I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you here? I don't know.
But you know how I react when somebody makes a statement like that.
I told him move.
No.
I mean,
angry. Listen, my
I'm like,
initial.
Tell me where would you go and move.
My initial reaction, my initial statement to challenge their position is to literally say, I am not going to give you a pass on that statement. So let's go a little deeper on that. What are you so unhappy about? Right? And it's extremely important. But my point to you is that a lot of people are looking into this moment, this nightmare winter that we are about to happen. What they don't understand is that we have a nightmare situation that goes beyond just winter. If we don't make an effort to fix this process that we got right now, where somebody's coming in with the expectation that you got to let me in. Not only are you got to let me in, you got to take me places. Right, and then hopefully you're going to provide for me, and so every complaint that has been on the table about the financial burden that immigrants impose into the tax-paying citizens of the country, right? This is when it becomes a legitimate argument, because just a few years ago, I was able to argue against that, because I will tell my friends, listen, you have no idea. First of all, nobody's bringing them in. They find a way to don't ask me how they find the resources and the ability. They get here. The second thing is that they find a way into the country. Somewhere, somehow, not only do they find a way to go into the country, they find a way to get to wherever it is that they were going to. Immediately they go into the fact that they say, they know nobody's giving me anything. I got to go find a way to eat, right? And they start doing just about every possible job that we say, man, thank God we got some people that will be willing to.
They become a net positive to society.
It's for the most part, it has always been a scenario, so it's always been the case where people will come to work, will become part of the labor force. Again, legal, illegal, registered, unregistered, however you want to call it, right? But there has always been a positive impact in that sense, because there was no expectation of the government is going to come do. That's not the way with people that we have coming in right now.
Yeah.
They absolutely have an expectation
You're
that
absolutely
that
right.
what doesn't make the country better. The country's great, but it would be better
If.
if they gave us. And like,
Like,
why do you have any
where's the
expectation?
gratitude?
Like, where
It's
did you
like-
get? Not only that is where did you
Become
develop that expectation? When? How? Why? Right? You develop that expectation. That's the part that we got to be very careful about because this nightmare winter can extend for years of misery, years and years of misery to come if we don't find a way to help people integrate. I would love to see, especially the people that we already took in, that we know where they are. That they should be immediately already in some kind of program learning to speak the language. They should be already understanding how the economy works, how taxes works in the country, how the opportunity that they have to make a positive contribution that we don't see enough of that. But anyway, listen. So New York and any other state that was considered sanctuary state, just get ready. You know,
You have another thing coming.
you are going to get what you asked for. So no complaining anymore. So listen, if you have any opinion about anything that we discuss here today, please like, share, comment. Have a great time. Thank you.
Deuces.